Political parties in Delta State have agreed to ensure a peaceful environment before, during and after the 2015 elections. Rising from a meeting convened by the Commissioner of Police, Alkali Baba Usman, the candidates of the APC and PDP said the state has had a history of violence during elections and extra attention needs to be paid to the spread of the security operatives. They also agreed to hold all their supporters accountable.
It's perhaps the biggest meeting of political candidates under one roof, and the convener is the Commissioner of Police, Delta State, Alkali Baba Usman. Also present are other security chiefs in the state.
It is significant to note that special attention will be paid to identify flashpoints within the state. While adequate security will be provided for these areas, both in terms of escorting materials, providing personnel to be at the polling stations and collection centers, I wish to appeal to all people from these areas to cooperate with the security agents.
Out of the 26 local government areas in Delta State, 19 have been marked as flashpoint.
There are some terrain that are very difficult to assess, especially the creeks. We welcome information, we welcome intelligence gathering to enable us factor it in our plans, as well as make necessary adjustments and recommendations to make sure that we achieve our aim.
If there is any failure, it will be, I pray against that anyway, it will be catastrophic.
The governorship candidates of the PDP and APC may be at loggerheads on the field, but here they are in agreement that peaceful elections are a must-have.
From the history of flashpoints in this state, two very major local governments where we have always had flashpoints were not listed there. So I think that we need to take note of it. If we already have 19 local governments as flashpoints, we might as well take all the 25 as flashpoints. So that we pay special attention to all the local governments.
For the Independent National Electoral Commission, proper elections can't be held without a functional card reader. The state rec tells the candidates how it works, but outside the venue, he explains more.
It's just a device to record when you put the card there. It takes the card, and that's all. At the end of the day, he now said how many cards were on this machine. They said 20. You press and it gives you 20 cards were brought. It does not need to have where, but what it knows is 20 cards were brought. And those cards forms the number of accredited voters.
They may all have different approaches to issues, but one thing they have all agreed on here is that the candidates must educate and hold their supporters accountable.
And the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Atahiru Jega, says internally displaced persons who are not in government camps in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states will not participate in the February elections. According to him, lack of accurate data for the internally displaced persons living in informal camps within and outside those states makes it impossible for INEC to plan for them in this election. Professor Jega made this clarification in Abuja at a meeting with representatives from the affected states.
This is a crucial meeting between the Independent National Electoral Commission and critical stakeholders from the troubled northeastern states ahead of the February polls. First, Professor Jega analyzed the preparedness of the commission to conduct elections in the states. According to Professor Jega, INEC has provided only for the IDPs living in formal camps to participate in the February polls.
IDPs that are in these states. There are no accurate figures of IDPs that have left this state and have gone to other parts of the country. And that's why, as we said, we are not in a position to arrange for people outside of these states to vote in the 2015 general election.
Some governors from the affected states insist that security issues should not be underplayed, even if it will mean shifting the election's date.
Human lives are more important to me than elections. I stand on my points that we must look at this thing with the spirit of being human beings. And therefore, sir, having submitted this, we will do everything. We will cooperate with this commission to ensure that at the appropriate time, elections can hold successfully and nobody is disenfranchised.
But the governor of Borno State says no electorate should be denied the right to vote under any guise.
But commend them for their statesmanship, for their maturity, sense of commitment, and empathy for millions of Nigerians who have been driven away from their homes, and their own kinsmen are agitating that they should be deprived of their fundamental right of freedom of choice. Very sad, but I think we have to commend INEC.
Other representatives expressed concern over the possibility of incumbents using the IDPs to their own advantages.
IDP camps are politicized. They are owned by either local governments or state governments that are incumbent, and that does not give opportunity to opposition parties to participate freely.
Having listened to the submissions from these stakeholders, INEC is expected to make some adjustments and come up with a better template for the IDPs during the elections.
Now, considering the critical role of the media in modern politics, the National Broadcasting Commission has advised broadcast stations in the country to ensure balanced and fair reporting of the forthcoming elections. This was the kernel of a meeting in Abuja between officials of the Commission and representatives of broadcast stations in the country. The Director General of the Commission says this reminder has become necessary as the activities leading to the polls gather momentum. Our correspondent, Lanre Lasisi, has the report.
Preparations for the 2015 general elections are intensifying. Political parties are traveling around the country to woo voters. The political umpire is also working hard to put everything in place for the elections. This meeting is with a critical group, the media. The National Broadcasting Commission says it is necessary for this group to understand their role towards free and fair general elections.
We've seen that a large number of stations followed the code, but we know also that there are deviations from the code. But because this is a very crucial time, any slight deviation, broadcasting is, you will have said it, it has gone out. The damage may already have been done. So while you're trying to retract it, people, the damage may have been done already. So it's important that we just, kind of heighten, as I said earlier, our sense of professional responsibility.
The meeting allowed participants to discuss how the media can ensure fairness, decency, and access during political broadcast, and also take their responsibility seriously.
Follow up, let us know what they have done before, what they have to offer Nigeria, and let us keep these promises in the kitty, so that if eventually, perchance, they have the opportunity, we can, bring back these promises before them and hold them responsible for what they have promised to do to us.
Some of the participants spoke on the meeting and their expectations.
I think this meeting alone cannot solve all of the problems, but this meeting, in line with other things happening, like the peace accord from last week, if the players choose to stay on, we journalists, people forget one thing. Our job is to report what happens. And when things happen simply because they are not favorable to one party, people think we are being biased. But it's not every case of bias that is really as such. Some cases are just perception.
If we hear from here and we don't put into practice, it will amount to waste. But we sincerely hope we will hear, as we hear what is being said here, when we get to our respective stations, we will not only pass it down to all those who work with us, we will also put it into practice on our various media.
Now, most of the broadcasters that attended this meeting have been told to encourage issue-based campaigns in a bid to help ensure that the general elections are violence-free and credible. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
The traditional ruler of Jos, Plateau State, the Bongwom Jos, has asked INEC to ensure the smooth conduct of the 2015 elections. He also appealed to the electorate to conduct themselves properly during the exercise. He was speaking in Jos while receiving the State Resident Electoral Commissioner in his palace. He told the gathering that the 2015 election is a very important exercise.
We want to appeal to you as the umpire, the body that is charged with the responsibility of conducting these elections, to discharge your duties and responsibilities as best as is provided within the laws and the guidelines. We will continue to pray earnestly that God will guide and strengthen you all in that regard. But at the same time, we note that it is not only the Commission that we will appeal to conduct themselves in the proper manner, but the players on the field, the politicians. We want to appeal to politicians to note that they on their own are offering services to the community, offering services to Nigeria, offering services to their states and their respective localities. It is not a desire to impose themselves, but to market themselves and what they stand for in the best manner that will attract the people to make the right decisions.
The Ogun State Police Command says it has intercepted 3,600 ballot boxes by the men of the 35 Artillery Brigade at Odogbolu along the Benin-Ore Expressway in Ogun State, southwest Nigeria. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Mr. Muyiwa Adejobi, told journalists that the two persons have been arrested in connection with the materials.
The INEC has confirmed that the items are actually meant for them, and of course their office in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, INEC office for the forthcoming general elections. We're having 3,600 ballot boxes. The agent who is in charge of the materials has not handed over these items to INEC officially, but INEC is aware of the procurement, importation, and of course subsequent distribution of these boxes. For now, we cannot say they're illegal or fake boxes. We have received calls to confirm that they are genuine items or materials or property of INEC of this Federal Republic of Nigeria. But in the course of our investigation, we want to see documentary evidence. We want to see papers to confirm the authenticity of these ballot boxes, to confirm that INEC actually gave contract to these agents who claimed that the items had been cleared at Wharf, Papa Wharf, Lagos, and he was taking them to Akwa Ibom, INEC office in Akwa Ibom State, Uyo specifically. So we don't want to say that the items are fake or they are genuine.
The cut in pump price may be welcome as the way to go, but in Edo State, there seems to be difficulty reflecting the new pump price of 87 naira per litre, as most service stations in Benin City are sticking to the old price. And in Rivers State, the situation is almost the same, as motorists continue to wait for the implementation of the federal government directives. Meanwhile, the National Union of Road Transport Workers has gone ahead to lower the cost of transportation in response to the pump price reduction.
For several months past, the price of crude oil at the international market has continued to drop, a situation that has also led to the continued fall in the value of the naira. But for that long, the price of petrol had remained at 97 naira per litre until Sunday's announcement by the federal government. We sought to know how motorists in Benin City received the news of the new price.
I'm happy, I'm impressed, but I pray that they will sustain it for long so that they will not just do it because of the election that is coming.
It should go down, like the petrol, like the diesel. It has to go down from 155, are they? To at least they should reduce as they've given the fuel price, pumping price to come to 87.
The Edo State Petroleum Monitoring Committee, saddled with the responsibility of ensuring that petroleum marketers comply with government directives, has since commenced monitoring compliance with this new directive.
If they had increased the pump price now, these same marketers, they won't hesitate by 1 second to increase it. So now that it's the other way around, they don't have a choice too. I must implement it.
And in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, it is a welcome development, but some residents want quick implementation.
So when they increase the price, immediately they effect the change. But now that they have reduced the price is still at 97 naira. This station, they have not reduced it to 87 naira according to the government price.
Some filling stations in the city still sold the product at the old pump price instead of the new price of 87 naira per litre. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers in Abia State says commuters will benefit from the federal government's gesture.
The drivers and the transporters are happy over it. If they should reduce the price, we also reduce the price of transport fare. So we are asking everybody to turn their prices back to 87 naira. So from tomorrow, we are going to reduce the price of transport fare in Abia State. We are sure of that.
With this latest reduction in place, it is also important that the chain of buying and selling of the product is strictly monitored to avoid hoarding, so that everyone will benefit from the directive.
Former military president General Ibrahim Babangida has asked Nigerians to endeavor to enroll in the ongoing National Identity Card registration. General Babangida gave this advice after receiving his national identity card from the officials of the National Identity Management Commission at his residence in Minna, the Niger State capital. While applauding the commission for a job well done so far, General Babangida said he was proud to receive the card during his lifetime.
I want to commend and congratulate the commission for it. Hasn't been easy for all of you, but I know you will eventually get there. I am proud I have this when I'm still alive. And please keep it up. And for those who have not succeeded in enrolling, try to make sure you do it fast. I think there is something to be very proud of being a citizen of this country. And if there is something that confirms you are one, that makes you prouder.
When the news at 10 returns, Monetary Policy Committee leaves benchmark rate at 13%, citing development in Nigeria's economy. That's going to be on Business News, so please join us again.